Yeah, here we can talk about the Nintendo thing. I'm sure a lot of you saw this. We can go over it. We talked about this guy a couple of years ago, actually. His name is Gary Bowser. So, you honestly couldn't have scripted a better story, but it's real. So, a guy named Gary Bowser was responsible for, like, basically selling, like, hacked consoles and shit like that. So, he was involved with Team Executor, and he had been sentenced to jail. Nintendo actually pursued action against him. He had made, I think, like 300K from all of his like hacking, and he spent 40 months in jail, and he just got released. And now he's going to have to pay 25 to 30% of his income every single month to Nintendo for the rest of his life. And he will still not be able to ever pay that off. His fucking grandkids will be paying that shit off. So long, Gary Bowser. Pretty sure chat made that joke when we talked about him 2 years ago, too. Which is still a fire joke, by the way. What was he doing specifically? I can't quite remember. Here, let's look. I just remember he was like hacking shit and selling like hacked consoles and other kinds of like pirated shit. Let's see if it has a synopsis. So he's paid $175 of his 10 million plus debt. So he's chipping away at it. He's making progress ever so slightly. They wanted to send a message to other Switch hackers. It was a very significant moment for us. It's the purchase of video games that sustain Nintendo and the Nintendo ecosystem, and it is the games that make the people smile. It's for that reason that we do all we can to prevent games on Nintendo systems from being stolen. Heroes. You guys are such fucking noble saints. Thank you, Nintendo. Ensure that this man will never live his life without the fear of Nintendo down his neck. And then also, while you're at it, why not strike a few more YouTubers who make videos on your games? You guys love to make people smile. Thanks, Resub Frosty, Mando, and Whisker. It doesn't actually give the overview of what he did. I just remember he made like 300K or something like that, selling like pirated shit and like hacked consoles and all that. Thanks, resub Skylid and Sean. That punishment seems a bit much. Yeah, you don't fucking say. It's crazy that he actually got punished harder than an entire company that was hosting pirated games. The company just got a fine. They didn't like lock up and throw in the slammer every single person there. Meanwhile, Gary Bowser, he got the book thrown at him. He got the wood. It must have been something personal because his last name is literally Bowser. Thanks to Prime. Chup and the resub Girth and D. Whoa, I'm sorry to hear that, Unknown. I can check that out. Thanks to Prime. Mungie and the resub Romaine and Ryan. I have no doubt Gary Bowser got into hacking the Switch specifically because his last name's Bowser, so he's like, fuck it, I'll do it. Might as well. I'll fulfill my namesake. 100%. U.S. Oh, oh. Successfully argued that Bowser and Team Executor had caused Nintendo to suffer $65 million in losses due to console hacking software and devices used to play pirated Nintendo Switch games. I don't recall that. 65 million from the console hacking software? I gotta be honest with you, Chief. That seems like a bunch of baloney. During the case, he admitted that he developed, manufactured, marketed, and sold a variety of circumvention devices that enabled users to play pirated versions of games. He was eventually found in the Dominican Republic and deported to the United States. I don't know why the number 300K keeps popping into my head. Maybe that's what Gary Bowser personally stood to gain, or personally gained from all of this. Or maybe I'm just way off the mark, but I really thought, or I vividly remember, like a report saying he had made like 300K from it all. But who knows? That could be wrong. Thanks for the 5 gift subs, Uber. Thank you for that. And the resub Stretch, Casper, Saint, Uber, Borf, Don, and Averno. So okay, so that is what he made for himself. He himself made 300K. I've now seen 3 people say that. Okay, most of chat is now saying that. Okay, so I wasn't wrong. He made 300K over the 7 years. Gotcha. Thanks to resub D. That's wild. 300K for 10 mil. Yeah. Man, this is honestly one of the most brutal fates. So, having to pay 25 to 30% to Nintendo, that's on top of tax, which I don't know where he lives, could be up to like another 20% or so. Like, my God. That's so brutal. That's so fucking brutal. I saw someone on Twitter say that they would honestly fake their own death in this case, and I really think Gary Bowser should fake his own death. There's very few cases where I'm like, faking a death would help. It would absolutely help here. Just fake your own death, brother. I don't know the best way of doing that, but there's gotta be a good way. Thanks to resub balls and the prime bearded. And the bits digital. And the prime MST and the resub Slamabang. Fake his death, go to Cuba. Fake his death, go anywhere else. Literally go anywhere else. Like I said, I don't know the best way of faking your own death, but there's gotta be something. There's fucking gotta be. That's like the only way out of this hell. Dude needs a new dust filter for his Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60. Fucking true. He's gonna need a Hoover Max ASAP. Thanks to the resub. Fret, EBN, Kirby, and the Prime Jack, and the gift sub digital. And thanks to the resub trash. Nintendo chipped him. Nah, I don't think they chipped him. Maybe they did though, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. I legitimately wouldn't be surprised if they put like some kind of tracking chip in him. Thanks to the resub, Danny. I know, that's what I've been saying, digital. Does he even have a job? Well, he's just now getting out of prison after spending 40 months there. And he had a job in prison where he paid off $75 of his debt. So I would wager a guess he doesn't currently have a job. He's probably still hunting for one. No, I didn't see that, Mac. They finally got him. Would Nintendo even cash a check for $25? No, they. I. I guarantee they don't even remember who Gary Bowser is. They fucked him and they forgot about him now. And this will be a generational debt for his whole lineage. I bet even when he does pass away in like fucking 70 years or whatever, Nintendo will then go after his next of kin to pick up that debt. The sins of our fathers. Thanks to the bits digital. Apparently is for ERP digital erotic roleplay. Thanks to resub base. You're not held accountable for your parents' debts. Well, wait till Nintendo has a shot. Nintendo will probably start lobbying for bringing back that kind of shit. You just wait. Thanks to resub Pat in EOD. You think Nintendo or Disney would be worse to be sued by? Oh, Nintendo's evil, but Disney's on another level. What the fuck? Yeah, no, Disney would be significantly worse to go to legal battle with. It's not even close. Bro, Disney can bully anyone and anything in court. It's not even a contest. Thanks a resub, Merwin. What is that, Jason? Is that a post? You seen DeSantis fighting Disney? I've only caught a little bit of it. I saw that he wants to put like a prison right next to Disney resorts or something, which I guess in theory is a goofy slam dunk, but in practicality is the dumbest fucking idea ever. There's the Prime Shino. Thanks to Prime Gru. Scarlett Johansson won that lawsuit against Disney. Oh yeah, she did, didn't she? And then they kicked her out of anything Marvel related. You're right, I actually forgot she did win that lawsuit, didn't she? Yeah. Oh, I can't believe it's already been almost 2 years. Thanks to Bits Digital. Yep, I did see that digital. Thanks to Gift Sub Fox. Yeah, no, she did win. She won that lawsuit against Disney, which is fucking shocking. Disney invoked a 1700s law that would make the committee DeSantis had powerless until current King Charles III's son reaches the age of 21. What in tarnation are you talking about? What? I gotta look that up. What are you talking about? I don't see anything about that. It's real. It's a real law. Legal Eagle talked about it. Legal Eagle. Oh, so Legal Eagle actually. This is real? Oh my god, wait. Here, I found it. Disney blocks Ron DeSantis Florida power play with a royal family clause. The Walt Disney Company used a legal clause that name checks King Charles III to apparently thwart Ron DeSantis' attempt to strip the company of its self-governance power in the state. Where's the 1700s law? The agreement includes a royal clause that dates back to 1692 in Britain and would extend its term limit for decades. This declaration shall continue in effect until 21 years after the death of the last survivor of the descendants of King Charles III, King of England, living as of the date of this declaration, the document said. This kind of clause is most often used in the UK, typically when it comes to trusts, and provides a buffer against perpetuities. So as long as one of those grandchildren make it to 80, this clause would be there for 100 years. What the fuck? Okay. That's huge. It was only then that Disney's new binding agreement was discovered. The clause was so obscure that several journalists who attended the February 8th meeting apparently didn't pick up on it. Well, yeah, it's from 1692, brother. Yeah, of course that shit's obscure. Wow. Thanks, Risa Michael. Quite a lot, EOD, quite a lot. Bro got slammed by a hidden game feature. I guess so, man. Wow. Surprise mechanics. Oh no, we were just touching on Disney because we were talking about Nintendo fucking this one guy Gary Bowser in particular, and then we eventually shifted gears to Disney. So that's how that came up. You know how giddy the lawyer was when he discovered that clause? Bro, I can already picture this like a scene out of a movie. The Disney lawyers going through like ancient texts, like unraveling scrolls and like parchment, and then he sees it. Wait, the 1692 King Charles III clause. It's just what I needed. We've got it now. A Raiders of the Lost Ark moment, unironically though. There's Risa Michael, 12th, and Luna. Perpetuities is a hazing ritual for new lawyers and is on every bar exam. I understand perpetuities is going to be like a big topic, but would they really need to go all the way back to 1692 legislation? Like I feel like that's super obscure even amongst like lawyers. But I'm just talking out of my ass. I'm just assuming. Yep, I covered that whole thing digital. Did you take a look at the Lost Media documentary trailer? Oh, not yet. I have it pulled up in another tab though. The Disney shit is actually scary as fuck if you think about it. I don't actually know like the full scope of the war between DeSantis and Disney, but I've said for years that Disney is a fucking terrifying corporation. They literally operate as like their own sovereign nation within America. They're fucking crazy. You guys remember the Disney neighborhoods? Here's the resub team. Probably like a 10 team. Disney was supposed to have a whole ass city in it. Well, this is going way back. Do you remember? I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. We went over that entire situation where Disney was bullying an entire city and all of its residents. I think it was in Anaheim. I feel like it was Anaheim, but they were literally exploiting and like fucking tormenting an entire city in order to further their own agenda and like take over bits and pieces of that city and expand more deep. I think it was Anaheim. That company's crazy. They go fucking wild with greed. And they won. Oh, they did win, yeah. It wasn't like it was thwarted. They did win. They fucked them. They face fucked them. Here's the bits, senor. What company do you think is the most corrupt right now? Like, in general, the most corrupt company across, like, any industry? That's a tough question. There's quite a few obvious ones, but I don't know what would be, like, the actual genuinely most corrupt. I feel like it's still gotta be Nestle. Nestle's usually my go-to, but there's a lot of competition. I feel like it's probably gotta be Nestle, though. BlackRock's another obvious one, yeah. But BlackRock also owns trillions of dollars worth of assets. Exhibits Eric and the resub Josh. Oh, I don't know what I'd call it, Eric. But it'd be all sci-fi themed for sure. Sci-fi and comic themed. Are they corrupt though? I haven't heard anything about that. This has to come up on stream at least once every 6 months. It always blows my mind more people don't know how evil Nestle is. They are, without exaggeration, one of the most evil mega corporations on the planet. Just look, I'm pretty sure, if you just type in Nestle, the first thing you get is a history of some of their biggest, most fucking awful things they've done. Well, here's a Jake Tran video on it, but that's not the exact one I was thinking of. But there's tons and tons and tons of content and reports about all of the awful things they have done and continue to do. There's so much about Nestle. Should I stop eating Kit Kats? Brother, you will not ever be able to successfully boycott all Nestle products. It's like 90% of the fucking food industry at this point. Food and drink. Good luck. Thanks to the Bits team. And the gift substone. And the resub Insomniac. We're talking about Nestle again. I told you, man, this comes up like once every 6 months. But it's always invaluable knowledge to know how fucked Nestle is. I will still never forget that whole baby formula scandal. That was on another level of degeneracy. Actually killing babies. Eggs the bits life. Nah, Nestle's just a hard company to beat when it comes to being evil. There, like I said, there's a lot of other like great choices for most evil company on the planet, but it's just I feel like Nestle's still number one, like comfortably. There's a bits again team. EA is worse. Yeah, EA's not worse, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. Predatory game mechanics and greed is not good, but it's also not even in the conversation when you're talking about companies like Nestle. Yeah, again, team, but that again, all of those things you're listing are bad, but they don't even register on the same ballpark as Nestle. Off the top of my head, I'm just going to name three very awful Nestle things. Continued child slavery. Literally, there was a. I've gone over this so many times on stream, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. The cliff notes are there was a big baby formula scandal that led to a lot of dead babies, all knowingly part of the plan for Nestle, and they also believed that water is not a human right. They also took complete control of a water source for a small village and refused to allow them access to crucial water without buying it from them. They like Nestle is an unbelievably evil company. Like I don't think you fully understand the scope of how evil they are. Go on then, show us the proof in the pudding. Are you okay? That's not the gotcha you think it is. I can't tell if you're like memeing. Thanks to tier 1 at Proto. And good shit today at Proto. Here's the baby formula scandal. I'll bring this one down for the fucking millionth time. So you can look up all the info here. We're not going through all of it again. But it was the 1977 Nestle boycott. It was all due to their baby formula scandal. It was to get the third world mothers hooked on the formula. And it led to a lot of problems. And a lot of not great stuff. Here is the privatizing of water. And then let's do what village was it again? I think it was here's the child slavery. And then what was that village that they took their water from? Can't recall. Oh, yeah, it was in Pakistan. Oh, it was actually more than just Pakistan. They did it in Pakistan, Nigeria, and a couple of others. But yeah, that's only touching the tip of the iceberg with Nestle. Thanks the resub Scuff and Blueberry. And the bits Eric and Jason. That shit is fucked, man. That company is unbelievably evil. That's like the devil shit. Thanks for the 5 gift subs, Capping. Appreciate that. Favorite good bad movie? Moonfall. I've said that a million times. Moonfall is the best bad movie ever made. And it'll never be topped, I doubt. Moonfall's the best bad movie. Are you still here, Proto? You ever seen Moonfall? I know Ludwig gave you an amazing speech today. But I'd say maybe before the G2 game, let Lud give you a speech, and then maybe also watch Moonfall the night before. You'll be fucking turbocharged for G2. Thanks for 5 gift subs again, Capping, in the resub water. In the bits team. No, it's definitely not a scam team. I don't think so. I just don't think the game's going to be fully able to accomplish what he hopes it will. But I would love if it did. Thanks for the raid, Gunner. Hope you had a good stream, man. Good to see you. And it was nice to meet you. Fifth Element's just a good movie in general. I don't know that one, Ken. Yep, I got to meet Gunner recently. He was very sweet. He was a good boy. Let's resub diet. What would you say is the best company? The best company? Like, are you talking major corporation? Because there's plenty of, like, good, like, local companies and shit, but that's cheating. As for, like, a massive company, none really pop into my head. Thanks a resub, Kin. No, like I said, like, smaller local companies and shit, there's tons of them. But I feel like the question is more catered towards, like, a massive conglomerate or something. I'm not really sure. FromSoft, I guess, maybe, but they just make amazing games. I don't really know how they are outside of just game making. And I also wouldn't really put them in the upper echelon of companies. I see a lot of people saying Costco. Does Costco, like, actually have a good reputation? Also appreciate all the Moist Global shoutouts there, but I think we were talking about, like, massive companies, man. It's very sweet, though. Yeah, it actually does have a really good reputation. Let me look it up. I just don't know a whole lot about Costco in general. Employees in Florida have rated Costco a 2.9 out of 5 for work-life balance, 4 out of 5 for diversity and inclusion, 3.7 out of 5 for culture and values, and 3.8 out of 5 for career opportunities. So that's the employee perspective in Florida, I guess, at least according to the most recent census of it, which was 2 weeks ago, actually. It's kind of wild timing. Yeah, I don't know a ton about it. Is Zerisa Metal an expert? Gonna look one way about something and go, yep, this is facts. Brother, this is literally the employee census from April 5th of 2023. That's just what the employees in Florida said. That was not just like an article. That was just like the actual fucking information.